Hello and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam and
Olive the donkey. James.
James.
We saw a post about Olive the donkey.
James wants a donkey. You guys, hi. So much going on, you guys. We have so much to talk about, so many things in the world, lots of weird things. We got a
Many
nice
weird
mix
things.
of weird things too to talk about today. We hope you guys are all having a great week. By the way, shout out to Fairfield, whoever showed up to the Fairfield show.
Yeah, Fairfield Weirdlings.
It was so much fun. Just really an amazing crowd. And you guys, we have one more show coming up, kind of to round out the rest of the year. New York City. It's going to be the Homeland, kind of final for a little bit. And that is going to be August 27th. So if you're in New York City, make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be a great little last show just for a little bit. But we have some shows coming up at the beginning of the year, which I'll be announcing sooner than later. But in the meantime, if you're in New York City, if you want to come to New York City for Labor Day, like we were saying, be a nice little weekend. Get your tickets while they're hot. How you doing, James? You doing
Top
okay?
notch. Great day.
Great day? Yeah, we've been doing so much yard work. We're just little yard workers lately. We do, by the way, again, like I was saying, we have a great show. Just kind of an overview of some of the weird stuff that we have to talk about today.
I'm excited to hear what we have to talk about today because I know very little about what we're discussing, which always excites me when we don't. We kind of have those organic conversations.
Organic. We have a neighbor update. Okay. Everyone's been asking me for what's going on with the neighbors, and I will get into that shortly. Neighbor update. If you know, you know. Also, we need to talk about The Biggest Loser TV show.
Oh.
What was it? It was The Biggest Loser realities behind the reality. That was on Netflix that just got released that we watched last night. And we just need to talk about some of the insane shows in the early 2000s and some of them that like I had to go back, and I've been doing some research because as we were watching this documentary, I'm like, oh my God, this like unlocked this like, part of middle school. It was like middle school when we would watch some of these shows that literally traumatized us. That seriously like shaped like some of the like the insecurities that a lot of us millennials have today. So we're going to talk about that. We also are going to talk about some other weird things. You hear about all these fines that the UK and Europe, like a lot of European countries in general, are like starting to charge Americans with and tourists with. Have you heard about this?
No, but I love hearing. I've heard. I don't know enough about it to say anything.
Okay,
I've heard some whispers. I didn't know it was true.
Yeah, it's true. And we also have an update on the man with the biggest penis in the world.
Got it.
An update from his forefront, just to see, what's going on with him. Anytime he, makes news, we got to talk about it. It feels right. Okay. So, but before also, of course, we have a weird science.
Of course.
Something weird that you found.
Yes, it's very weird.
This one's very weird. So he says, and of course we have weird secrets. Of course, good mix today. A lot of period stuff. I think the period secrets from last week really struck a nerve. A lot of the girls were having some PTSD about period troubles. So, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the neighbor and what's going on with the neighbor. So if you've been following, if you watch my stories, okay, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened with our neighbors. We, number one, have these neighbors, and it's like kind of like a split house, and they're renting, and they're very large families. They're two big families, lots of kids. Okay. And again, me and these kids have this love-hate relationship. Mostly, they're just kids. They're just troublemakers. We don't have a ton of privacy in the backyard because these kids are always outside. And we've had, we've rescued a dog that's come out of there. That's how we got Poppy. Poppy came from that house.
Poppy.
So it's kind of been a little bit of a struggle, but these poor kids, we recently found out that the father of these kids passed away unexpectedly, probably about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
I thought he was older.
No, he was 35.
Oh, the guy that passed away was 35?
He was 35.
Oh, damn.
And one of our neighbors, like right off the gate, was like, yeah, and apparently, there were rumors that there was arguing going on there. So I have just heard from other neighbors that the update is he apparently was on some sort of medication.
Okay.
He was either like epileptic or he had some sort of medication that he had that was required. And either like he took too much of it or like didn't take the right amount.
Oh, no.
Or that was like the first kind of thing that I'd heard. And then someone else had said, oh, I heard it was like drug related in another way.
Oh, really?
So yeah, for some of you guys who are like, oh my God, is there a serial killer in your neighborhood? Is there a murderer next door? No, there's not a murderer. But that is, the most that I've heard. And it's just so weird too, because like I haven't found anything in the news about it.
No, I haven't heard a thing.
I've been looking like the obituaries and stuff and nothing there.
Is it still like an open for investigation type
I don't
thing?
know, but like there's no police tape or anything up there. Like you would think then that they'd be like doing investigations.
True. Yeah.
And so far too, like it looks as though like they're moving out, the mom and her kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff being moved out of the house.
There's a truck full of stuff in the backyard.
Yeah,
as we
they moved
speak.
a truck in the backyard.
And no, it's full right now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that wasn't like that earlier today.
So I wonder, like, I think they're moving out. I'm pretty sure.
Loaded, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like leaving anyways. I don't really. I don't like want to ask the kids.
What a horrible situation. That would
so horrible. So sad. Of course, like I just had a pit in my stomach about what's going on over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just my true crime brain that watches too much of this shit to overthink.
Do you have some true crime instincts?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I do. I'm an investigator, as most of you guys know. Yeah. So just super sad. I mean, I'm just hoping the kids are okay.
That's the thing you gotta.
Of course, I hope they have support some way. Other family members around or whatever, but like I'm not close enough to go and ask them. No. Unless someone came and talked to me. But that's the update for everyone who's been asking. I will of course let you know if there's more, but also kind of want to be respectful. I don't know if they're watching my stories and stuff.
Martin will know.
Yeah, we gotta know. There's another neighbor who's like the king of the gossip.
He'll know everything.
Yeah. His name's Martin. Shout out Martin. Okay, now let's get into. So there was this documentary that just came out on Netflix. What is the official title? Let me just look. Okay, it's called Fit for TV: The Reality of the Biggest Loser. Reality of Biggest Loser. That's what it was. It just came out. It's like a 3 or 4 part series on Netflix, and if you guys were, I'm assuming like a lot of you guys, millennials, of course, have probably watched this show. Okay. I'm assuming most of you guys know what this show is. I know I watched it all the time.
I watched Biggest Loser. Absolutely.
Like that was, part of the reality zeitgeist back then. Like it was like American Idol. I think it was like on after American Idol. I feel like there was just,
that would make the sense. The back-to-back schedule.
Yeah.
Why don't you keep going? I'm actually I want to look that up. I want to know.
Okay. So what's so crazy is, you can kind of tell the feel of what the documentary is going to be like when the executive producers literally opened it up being like, yeah, we weren't sure if this show was going to be a comedy or if it was actually going to be like an inspiring show about weight loss. And, I feel like we just know so much more now than we did back then of like how they treat these people, and they're just using them. They're pawns in the game to get big numbers. And the reality that some of these people would lose like 300 pounds in a couple months is wild. And
was it 3?
Yeah, there's
like
some guys
100 pounds in a couple months.
No, there's a guy who was 500 pounds who lost like 260 pounds.
Oh my God.
In 6 months. And just the amount of exercise too that they're putting these people through. It's just, there's never going to be a way that any normal person would have what they
not
went through.
Not even an extraordinary person. Like
right.
This is beyond. This is the 0.001%. Like this is real low.
And, they just, to anything to get the numbers, they would make these people between like just humiliating them and degrading them with like, all of those challenges where like they would, of course they're on a diet. Every week they're getting weighed in, and whoever loses the most weight, basically moves on to the next week. And they make them do all these challenges where they spread out just like a buffet of candy and fried food and pizza, and make them smell it and make them do these challenges. Like, whoever eats the most calories gets a phone call with their kid. But then, of course, and the reality of, they don't want to intake that many calories. It was just like this mind game that, again, would never happen, of course, in the real world. And you forget, like, you forget how fucked up it was until you look back, and it was like,
it almost made me think of there's elements of Fear Factor in there.
That show was fucked up.
Yeah. But they did some of the things that sound similar to a Fear Factor. Just the degrading, making people do stuff that nobody in the world under any normal circumstances are going to do.
Yeah.
Right. Very much a mental torture side of things.
Yeah. In the first episode, or one of the first, opening episodes of a season, they make them all run a mile. And this one girl basically dies because she was running so fast. She'd never exercised, like, since high school, probably. I think she'd said, like, she's like, I have no muscle mass. I've never, I barely even walk anymore. And they make them all run a mile, and they can only go on to the next episode or like the next level if they can cross the finish line for a mile, which is just so crazy. These people are passing out. This girl literally had to be medvaced.
Yeah.
Because she started
flatlined.
Yeah. It's so crazy. If you haven't seen it, obviously, like, I don't want to give all of it away. I mean, most of it, it's not like it's a spoiler, but they even had like the doctor that was on staff. They had a doctor on staff, and a lot of it, of course, he's like, to some degree, he's like, I'm a doctor, like, I'm supposed to be putting these guys first, but they're not listening to me, and the producers half the time weren't passing anything through him. They basically just had him on staff to say
there was a doctor.
There was a doctor on staff, but like, and this whole like giving caffeine pills, like apparently, some of the trainers would sneak caffeine pills and some of these like metabolism boosters under the table and tell them like only to eat 800 calories a day. And then they were exercising 8 hours, literally nonstop all day. It was so crazy. And so this, of course, sparked a memory. I'm like, oh my God, I need to look up like some of these other shows that happened in the 2000s. Like, this wasn't even as bad as some of the other shows that were going on at the time. I
can't wait to hear this list.
So I looked up some of the shows that, of course, like could never happen today, and shows you guys might have not remembered, or this might be like a trigger for you. There was a show called How Gay Are You in 2004.
I didn't even know that.
It was, so apparently this was one I looked up. It was on Sky One, which is a UK.
Okay.
So this is UK. And UK, like, by the way, any British people out there, you guys also were fucked up. Like, the UK shows
are
wild.
But
they're almost worse than us.
They have that, that old English style of communication where everything they do is just like biting truth, that they say it in the politest way possible, but they'll just be brutally honest with you. Yeah.
And it was basically like whoever can prove they're like that they're the most gay. It was so like, I couldn't, again, I'd never seen this one, but this is apparently, if there are any UK people out there, apparently this was a show in 2004. And it was something about like being competitive for like who could prove that they're the most gay, and all these stereotypes of like what makes someone gay. And it was specifically to men. Oh my God, this show was called There's Something About Miriam. This was, what was it on? Oh, this was also, I had heard of this.
I've never heard of this.
This
one
was
either.
Also a UK show. And it was about these guys that tried to, were like, bachelorette style, trying to date this model named Miriam, and turned out at the end she was transgender.
Oh, really?
Yeah. and they were trying to like fuck with them. There was another show, and this was on ABC. This was an American show. It was called Are You Hot?
Okay. I've never even heard of this one.
Yeah.
Really?
This was on ABC. This one I also very much remember. Literally, it was just women going on like the stage in bikinis and a bunch of men rating them on their bodies, their face.
Oh my God, that would never fly today.
It's crazy.
The fact that it flew in 2003, you said?
Yeah.
That's, well, I'm going to name another show that everybody knows. But remember when we went back and we were starting to rewatch the Chappelle Show?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, they could never make this show today.
No.
And the Chappelle Show is one of my favorite all-time shows.
No, there's a lot of shows. But these are like really bad.
These are, and these are reality shows. They weren't necessarily meant for just comedy.
And it gets worse.
It gets worse.
There's a show on FX called Black and White.
Okay.
In 2006, where an entire white family they put in blackface, and a black family they put in whiteface, and they tried to like put them in like different circumstances, you know, and see like if they could do the normal things that they would do and how they'd be judged for it.
Doesn't make your dad's Jamaica costume seem as bad.
No, my dad used to you guys dress up as a Jamaican.
No, it doesn't make terrifying. It seem bad now. Like, apparently that was a thing of the times.
Like, you know, it was not.
I can't believe that show got made even 2006. There's
this was the one that also triggered a memory when I was watching the Netflix doc called The Swan, and I had posted this on my Instagram. This was in 2004. Me and my friends used to watch this one all the time. It was literally they would have like quote unquote like ugly women.
This one I've heard of.
Yep, submitting their, you know, photos and pictures of their bodies, and they would basically have plastic surgeons come and just whoever had the biggest transformation.
They had like a glam up or whatever.
Yeah, the most attractive one.
Oh my God.
And they would just have like plastic surgery, obviously. Like they would get full hair and makeup. I mean,
that show I'd heard of all those. I had heard of that one. I don't think I've ever seen it, but
yep. And they're close to that one. There was also bridal plasty. This was in 2010. This like wasn't even that long ago, where contestants would like, you know, who are trying to have a wedding, who are getting married, and they would all compete for like Botox and fillers and plastic surgery. It was so fucked up. Same with like even there's Extreme Makeover, obviously Extreme Makeover Home Edition. People are reminded about that. But there's Extreme Makeover with people too. Yeah. Which also, like, if you think about it, you know, even like the show, I mean, the gay guy, what's the
Queer Eye for the
Straight Guy
is such a beautiful show though.
Yeah,
it really is.
They've turned into a way of doing it that's more socially acceptable rather than let's choose the ugliest person and like how do we change everything about them. You know, where obviously now it's more like a little more inspiring, you know, and it's more about like
if that's the kind of stuff. So I didn't watch a ton of TV in that range. That was right after college for me.
Yep.
And I didn't see a lot of those shows, and reality TV never really appealed to me. But I mean, now that this is just a gut reaction to you naming these shows and how much you watched them at obviously, you know, a younger age than what I was and how impressionable people could be. It's no wonder society has flipped to this side of things. If we were treating people like that back then, it makes it. I wonder if that has anything to do with now we've gone completely to the other side where nothing like this is. You can't even talk about it.
Some people have messaged me like Howard Stern used to do a lot of fucked up shit.
Oh, he had shock radio. He was one of the kings of shock radio.
He had like a shows like Butterface, Butter or Not. You know, and it was the same thing. Like, you know, women would, you know, they had live shows and, you know, these women are submitting their full, you know, themselves in bikinis, their faces, their videos of themselves. And the men would just, you know, rip them apart. And this is one of the last ones I literally was having so much deja vu over. Do you remember My Big Fat Obnoxious Fiance?
I've heard of it. I didn't watch a lot of reality. I never.
I know, James. This was in 2004. This was on Fox.
I've definitely heard of it.
And basically, this woman had to convince her family that she was marrying this, like, you know, fat, obnoxious man. And if she got them to, you know, let her be married to him, then she got like this huge prize, and it was his job to like be super obnoxious, and he was like this actor,
and it was all a setup. Yep.
And it was all a setup, but it was just like to make her family go through like some of the stuff he made it go through. It was just so fucked up. Same with, there was this other show that I was trying to find too. It was like these family members were hooked up to lie detector tests, and then they were asked the most personal, secretive questions that you would never want family to know, like what kind of like, schmorn you watched, and like your relationship history, and
just my things, God,
you would just never want your family to know, and they would expose it on live TV in front of all these people. I forget what it was called. I was trying to find the list. I have this list. It's a BuzzFeed article that lists all of the shows that could never be.
That list is insane. Those shows shouldn't have been made back then.
No, it's, and even like some of the ones today, like they even talk about like, all the different temptation dating shows. Like now the dating shows, are so crazy. Like some of those,
and there's a new one
insane.
Every week, it seems like.
Yeah, there's always, even like, the MILF shows. Like there were some that just I'd seen, I think it was like on Peacock or something, where like these mothers would try and hit on basically like
young
boys,
guys.
Young guys, like 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and they're all their sons' ages, and then their sons would like come and join the show and like try and befriend these guys, and they're all the same age. It's so fucked up. Like it's seriously, it's called The Moment of Truth. The Moment of Truth was the lie detector.
The lie detector, okay.
And it was in 2009. And seriously, it would be like they would have your husband or like your kids up there, and it'd be like, oh, like what have you searched on the internet, or you talked to this guy at work with your behind your dad's back.
Oh,
and
boy.
Just all of these like deep dark truths for money. And it's just so crazy. Even just like the MTV shows too, like Next. Did you ever watch that? Like some of the dating shows, Room Raiders.
I don't know these.
Oh my God.
I stopped watching MTV when they stopped making music videos.
Well, that's a whole other.
There were a few show like Beavis and Butthead was a great show on MTV.
Yeah, I was always watching these crazy friggin' shows. That was just the time too. It was like, again, if you're a millennial,
But these reality TV was such a big deal, even though we now know how unreal reality TV really is.
Right. Well, back then we just didn't know. We thought it was real.
It was way easier to just think like that, right? I just never.
Oh, sorry.
We okay? Sorry. Oh, it just never really appealed to me much, so I didn't watch a lot of them. But now that you're talking about it, I'm like, well, obviously there was such a big market for it because they just kept making more and more and more.
Yeah, it was. It
hasn't slowed down. Yeah.
And it's kind of like some of the viral videos, like a version of viral videos that you see now. Like who can shock the most and do the craziest? Thing to try and get viewers.
Fear Factor was such a super popular one.
Yeah, that too. That was also.
And that was. Some of these are way more messed up than Fear Factor now that I hear about them.
Right.
Like getting in front of your family with a lie detector test.
Yeah.
Like
admitting
make women
that you
get,
looked up weird porn, or like,
make women get plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Right.
And whoever becomes most attractive and the skinniest wins.
That makes Fear Factor look so much tame.
America's Next Top Model, the things they would like put these women through and just degrade them and humiliate them. It was so messed up. Like, people just didn't know. You just didn't know back then, like just how bad it was until it happened to you. And I think now we just know more. So now, like, when people do go on some of these shows, it's like, what you're signing up for.
Yes. If you know exactly.
You know what you're doing. They're going to edit you bad.
They're going to exploit you.
They're going to exploit. Yeah. You know how bad it's going to be. So anyways, let us know if we missed any. Are there any others that you guys remember? Let us know. Comment below.
Has anyone that's been listening
on one,
tried out for one, or been on one,
or know someone? Let us know.
That would be a great call in.
Okay, really quickly, we just need to know what's going on with the man's biggest wiener.
Please.
We always, anytime there's an update with him, he's always doing weird stuff. But we haven't talked about him in a while, and he's always making news. And I feel like that's the same with me. Like whenever I do put something weird in my mouth, it's just the people want to know what the Gape's up to. The people want to know what the Weiner's up to. So the man with the largest Johnson, his name's Matt Barr. He reportedly hurt himself. He reportedly fractured his arm. He broke his arm in the shower because his wiener got in the way. He says, it was very embarrassing, of course, as it is. He says his wiener, which is 14 and a half inches long.
Jesus.
14 and a half. And I think that's even flaccid. I don't even think that's, at full capacity.
That's ridiculous.
He says, you would think it has so many upsides, but of course it doesn't.
Sounds painful.
He says that it gets in the way. You can't see. So he said when he takes a shower, he can't see his feet because his wiener's so big, it gets in the way. I mean, relatable king. And he said he didn't see that he had excess shower gel in the tub. So he slipped on it because his penis was, he said, my penis was the only thing in my eye line. So naturally, I couldn't see the gel. Of course, he slipped on it and he caused him to fall out of the tub and break his arm. The poor guy, you guys. He's just a man. He's just a man with a wiener and a dream. And the poor Brit, he's British. I hadn't mentioned that. He had 2 breaks in his arm. The poor guy. Can you believe it? And he was reflecting back on the accident. He said, you know what? I've had close calls before, but I have never broken a bone. He said, usually I have someone with me in the shower. Wink, wink.
Of course, he's got to put it out there. You
little freak. So to prevent future falls, he has resolved to shower less quickly. He doesn't have to rush. Okay, big wiener guys need to also take their time, slow down, watch where he's going, move his wiener out of the way. Okay. So anyways, Matt Barr, we are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. We hope for a speedy recovery, my guy. And Godspeed out there. Make sure, slow down. Watch your wiener, Matt. Like, seriously, how many times do we have to tell you this? Okay. Now, next, we also need to talk about this European cities.
Got it. Yes, this I need to hear about.
And what they're trying to find tourists with, okay? This is real. I've seen videos about it. Oh, Peaches. Seriously, the animals are stepping on things. Like, I don't know if there's been like a pause because the cat was knocking over a light. Oh my God, never a dull moment in here. There's always something going on. But listen, if you guys are going to Europe anytime soon, you need to know all the new fines that they are starting to implement for safety and for the environment, they say. They said, number 1, you cannot wear flip-flops or be barefoot while driving.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that anyway.
Right. You also cannot take anything from a beach. So you cannot take shells, you can't take rocks, you can't take sand.
Sounds okay.
Right? So a lot of these, like, they're not crazy.
No.
Apparently they're trying to make rules, like they can fine people about seatbelts, either in cars too, and even on the plane.
Fine people for not using blinkers. I'm in on this. Okay, all these things make sense to me.
Also, in a lot of these major cities in Spain, they are now fining people if you are wearing a bathing suit off the beach.
Good for them.
So you must be wearing like some sort of cover up at all time. Even, it's just so hard because like a top for a bathing suit could be.
That's the thing.
It's like, where's the line? And then of course there's, a lot of cities too where you cannot drink on the streets. There's some, like in Italy, there were some places you could, but a lot of Spanish islands and in Spain, like Ibiza is a big one. Apparently you can't drink outside
even
of a bar.
In Ibiza.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And they are now going to start charging people up to $3,000 if they're caught with an open container. So make sure you follow your laws. Also, apparently, too, in Spain is like really getting pissed off.
Yeah.
because apparently, like my mom, like so many people are going over to Spain and either renting places, doing Airbnbs,
and that's the thing.
Living
it's really
over
the
there.
Airbnb industry.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of different, like how long you can rent a place. Also, this is random, leaving your towel to hold a pool chair at different pools and beaches and stuff.
Oh yeah, we're notorious for that.
Yep. Greece is really, so Greece is also another one that's like being really particular about damaging any sort of like outdoor, whether it's like the beach, they're saying again, no shells, no sand off the beach, no going like on to try to break off pieces of the rock or coral, which I feel like again is not that crazy, but they're going to charge up to $2,000 if you do, which is
people shouldn't be breaking coral.
Also, if you try and swim in the Venice Canal, $500. Again, like who the hell is going to be swimming in the
There's
canal,
a bunch of people that try that. You bump that up to $2,000. Yeah,
right. So those are just some of them that are going on, which again, none of those to me sound very crazy. And again, like a lot of them, they're saying they're doing really hefty fines on ones that, of course, most normal people aren't going to do. Like no urinating in public. You can't, of course, perform sex acts in public. They are saying like you can't camp out. Of course, yeah. Like just don't be an idiot. Don't be a moron. That's fine.
The things that I remember hearing about from Spain last year, look, every country has to manage what's going on in the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
That there are just so many Airbnbs in some of these cities that, I mean, it outnumbers the number of hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So you're getting twice as many people in an area that only used to stay in hotels, basically.
Yep. So people renting cars, additional cars and traffic and
these cities aren't set up for that kind of infrastructure.
Nope.
Right? They're used to being busy, but it's all year long. It's relentless. And the people that live there are totally affected by it. And a lot of people that own Airbnbs, I don't know the numbers, but a lot of the people that own the Airbnbs aren't even from those cities. They usually live from other countries or far outside of like Barcelona, but they own a couple properties and just rent it out. And that's all they do for work. They just make money off the Airbnb properties.
Yep. Yeah. Not a bad thing though. Not a bad way, but it just becomes unfair. It makes it unaffordable for the people who do.
I remember when we were over there one time with your mom. Maybe we weren't over there. Maybe we were in Italy. Anyway, they were talking about how do they regulate the number of Airbnbs or like private rentals that they're allowing people to have. So
tough.
Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give people an update on some of the weirdness going on. That's Peach. Why is Peach being crazy? All of the animals are seriously on another level today. Can you hear her growling? I don't know what the problem is. All of our animals are being crazy. It's like, is there like a full moon going on or something going on in the world?
That could be a good reason.
Yeah, it's Mercury. Something's happening. Anyways, James, do you want to let us know what you found for weirdness in the science world this week?
Let's take a look at this.
Take a look.
Maybe I sing the song.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting the song.
Well, that's because there's sometimes where I don't sing it, and I was revamping the song, but I haven't. We'll stick with the same. It's the Science Corner. Hope you stay to play. It's the Science Corner. It can change your day. Science is fun questions made by you and me. Let's start the Science Corner with curiosity.
Beautiful. That's gorgeous.
This is one I had seen, but we didn't talk about. And I'm just going to read the opening paragraph for it. As much fun as reading on a podcast is. But David Swenson of 3M
What's the overview too, so we know like what's going on here? Give us like the
this will be title. This will kind of be the overview.
Okay.
David Swenson of the 3M Corporation, and 3M is Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
Yeah,
right?
Like a huge 3M. Like
we know how big everyone knows 3M, right? Yeah. You've seen something with 3M. You have sticky notes, post-it notes were invented by 3M.
Yep.
Right. 3M Corporation describes an anomaly where workers encountered a strange invisible wall in an area under a fast-moving sheet of electrically charged polypropylene film in a factory. basically the plastic and or any of those sticky things that you see. That's polypropylene, right? So this invisible wall was strong enough to prevent humans from passing through it.
So they made it. 3M made this
by accident.
Okay, so they like caused a ripple in the simulation. Is that what they did?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But a person going near the wall was unable to turn or move because of the static electricity. So they had to walk backwards to get out of the grip of this electrostatic, almost magnetic, invisible wall that was formed. So think of it like this. When I said that there's fast moving electrically charged polypropylene film.
Yeah.
Just picture like old dumb stuff you used to do in science class in like grade school.
Yeah.
And you'd make static electricity. You'd make like paper could make your hair stand up.
Rubbed your head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what this is on a monumental scale.
Okay.
Like just take that power of static electricity. Have you ever walked across like an old carpet and then touched like metal and there's a little electrical charge?
Yeah.
Now just picture that like 1 billion times more power. And there was enough of an electrostatic power that people couldn't pass through it.
So where did they publish this? Like, where did you find this?
This happened in 1980. And I just was going through some of the weird science things I follow. And I wanted to find, I know we do a lot of space, we do aliens. I wanted to find something like that was kind of the show, Weird and Proud, right?
So what does it mean? Like, what does that mean?
It just is one of, so sometimes things on Earth just happen that are really, really weird, right?
Yeah.
That's what this means to me. Isn't
just
that
like
just
a really
weird
thing that happened?
It was
and
kind
they
of
couldn't replicate? Like, have they tried to do it again?
It doesn't say they were able to fully replicate it. But it had happened before, but they were able to figure out what it was. It had to do with, again, this is a massive factory and there's a concrete floor.
Yeah.
The concrete acts as a ground for it.
Yeah.
Meaning just like how electricity hits the ground or a tree, right? Electricity is looking to connect itself to something.
Yeah.
It's looking for those positive and negative charges. We've all seen that basic science before. That with the concrete, it was able to cause electrification that can occur on identals or idle materials, and the surface textures or microstructures are significantly different. The generation of a large imbalance of electrical surface charge during unspooling was therefore not expected. So when this thing was unspooling, it was creating this supercharged static electricity, just like rubbing paper on your head.
Okay.
Right. And it created a strong enough force. It was like an invisible force field, like literally out of Star Wars.
I want a force field.
Isn't that, to me, that's just a weird science thing.
It's weird and it's proud.
Yeah.
So why did this just come out now though? If it happened in 1980, why are people talking about it now?
I think it's been out for a while. I just think that it's one of those stories that kind of gets lost just for like a little while. Fact. Yeah. And somebody posted it on one of the science sites.
Like,
that I follow.
Just so you know, this happened. 3M did this by accident.
By accident. Nobody was hurt. Nothing bad.
And they just turned it off and then they moved forward.
And then they moved forward.
Like, yeah, by the way, we did this weird thing. Sorry, our bad. Just so you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So
where is this?
There's other posts as of 2016 that says, I have a relative who still works at 3M and this sort of thing happens once in a while. It's that sometimes this perfect storm of electrical charges just happens within the building and it can happen again. Yeah. So this is apparently something that does happen.
Where is this again? It's in Minnesota?
No, this wasn't in Minnesota. This was at their plant in South Carolina, it said.
Oh, okay.
But 3M is a Minnesota-based company. It's one of the biggest ones in the Midwest.
Does anyone work there? Are you walking backwards? Let us know. If there's anyone who worked for 3M out there.
It occurred in late summer in South Carolina, and the extreme high humidity was definitely one of the things that helped that particular situation occur. Yep.
Weird.
It has to be, again, just like making your sourdough bread.
Yep.
All those elements have to align together at the right time for something like this to happen. But I looked it up enough, and it's a true story. When I first read it, I was kind of like, the site that I found it on is one that I followed for a while.
What is it?
And they're pretty reputable. I think this one was from like Science Facts. Just a regular
James's
Instagram.
Like explore page, like his For You, whatever you want to call it, is literally just science and football.
Just mostly, yeah.
And Wisconsin stuff.
Yeah, a lot of Midwest stuff.
And like random animals.
A lot of animal. Yeah. Or animal and homestead stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that this was an absolutely, utterly, fascinatingly weird story.
Utterly fascinating. Okay, I like it. It is weird, James.
It's
That's
very
weird.
strange.
That is very strange.
Yep.
Good to know. People are just out there, companies out here just causing electromagnetic fields. Good to know. Good to know. Anything else you wanted to say with that? Anything else we need to know?
No, I didn't read any of the follow-up ones. No, I'm reading a few of the follow-up posts about it from this particular article, but I think I've bored people enough with that one.
No, I think, we're always looking forward to what James has up his sleeve.
I think it's interesting as hell that something like that happened at a factory out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's weird. That's like something, like I guess Stranger Things, and
very much
caused
like
a ripple in the simulation, and that's like why 9/11 happened.
There you go. We've got it all. That's exactly how science works.
That's pretty much the definition of science, if you think about it.
I think you nailed it.
Okay, you guys, guess what time it is? It's time for secret. Yeah, that's right. It's time for secrets, where you guys call in, you tell us weird things that have happened to you, weird stories. We're always throwing out weird prompts, weird cues for you guys. Like last week, we talked a lot about tampons and the toxic shock. We threw that out there. If anyone has, of course, people have. We also talked, of course, last week we were talking about high school pranks.
Oh, the high school pranks.
And someone has a crazy one. So we got a little bit of mix of things. But as a reminder, if you want to call in and leave us a weird secret or weird story, you can call in too.
SpeakPipe!
That's speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod. Again, speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod. Always anonymous. You can leave up to about 2 minutes. And yeah, I mean, again, it can be something, one of these secrets that reminds you of something, or any weird thing that's happened to you. We always love it. More random, the better sometimes. All right, James, are you ready for the first secret? And this one is, of course, a toxic shock syndrome story. So ladies and everyone, I feel like everyone should know about this, that it does happen, and to be aware. And here is a story we all should know. Here we go.
All right, long one, but I will make it worth it. I was going to call in about a TP story where a guy took a shit on the hood of my friend's car and ended up getting caught doing it. But when someone asked about toxic shock, I got some stories. First, my friend Sam had a small cut on her foot and it got infected and she ended up going into septic shock, was in the hospital for over a month, had to get a trach tube put in, couldn't eat on her own, couldn't walk on her own. Now is 100% totally fine. The second, my husband, but boyfriend at the time, was shaving his back. It was like an older razor, got the tiniest cut, and then the next morning could not get off the floor, could not use his legs, couldn't move. He was being a turd and refused to take an ambulance. So me and his friends tied him to a surfboard and brought him into the ER. He ended up having osteomyelitis, which is like a blood infection, and it attacked his spinal cord. And he spent over 2 weeks in the hospital. The doctor was like, you might not survive or you might not walk again. Fast forward, he's totally fine now. Myself, I once got a tampon stuck, had no idea. I had super bad cramps. My coochie smelled so bad. And my doctor or my husband didn't even notice the smell, but I made me want to throw up. I go to the hospital. I'm shaking, profusely sweating, getting the stirrups. She opens me up and I hear her say, oh my God. And she pulls out this black tampon that smelled so bad. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. And she was like, no, your body's starting to shut down and go into toxic shock. I was like, all right, cool. But I can go home, right? No. They gave me this multiple shots in the butt, made me sit there for 30 minutes, took my car keys. At the end of the 30 minutes, I was like, I'm fine. I went to go get up and then just immediately fell on the ground. And long story short, lots of antibiotics later, I am fine. And I still use tampons.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, yeah, there were a lot of lessons to be learned in that.
Well, that opened a whole can of worms.
Because as I think she was initiating, obviously toxic shock can come, in many ways.
You just get, it's
And to be careful. I mean, like there are like little cuts. Like that's why it's like get your Neosporin. There's always put a little antibiotic, on there. Make sure you keep your cuts clean.
At least wash it out. Like
at least wash,
take
especially
water.
Like rusty. Oh my god, the rusty razor that gave me chills down my back thinking about that. Oh my god. Yeah, and it can happen so quickly like that. Like you were just saying, that is so scary. That's one of my biggest fears. I feel like too, whenever I cut myself, like that is like in the back of my mind.
Think
I'm
about
like,
that?
Oh my god. Yeah, this could get. I just am careful. Like even I have like a little cut on my thumb right there.
Yeah.
And when we were doing some yard work, I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I keep this clean. I don't want to die. No, it's not that serious. But just keep your cuts clean and watch out for them.
That series of stories was wild.
The tampon of it all. Oh my god. Yeah. First of all, I'm so crazy. Like if I have a tampon in, like it is the only thing on my mind. Like it freaks me out. Like I know people who like have to change them like every couple hours because they too also just get so nervous. Yeah. I feel like in health class, like there were just horror stories about toxic shock. And I mean, granted, if you had it in there for a month, like, yeah, that's crazy. But I remember even like hearing like if it was over like 8 hours, you can get toxic shock.
I mean, it can't be great to be in there for 8 hours. And I don't know enough about it, but
long term, it's really, you're not supposed to, I don't even know what the general rule is, to be honest. But normally I always thought like over like 5 hours to me was too much, was too long. So
I'm sure it's kind of unique by person.
By your flow, like what day it is. But yeah, I mean, that's, again, I do have like a little bit of a fear of them because of that.
That's terrifying.
It, especially, there's some tampons too. There's just one, I don't even know if it's a brand anymore, called OB, where it didn't like have a string. It was a self insert. If you guys remember, if you guys know, and it would get lost. Like sometimes people like wouldn't be able to find it, or like it would get jammed too far up there. Ugh.
I get worried when I lose my contact in my eye.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like seriously.
But that's a billion times worse.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're like, where the hell did my tampon go? So with all that being said, I'm obviously glad you're okay. I can't remember if she said it was her boyfriend or friend or
boyfriend at the time, now husband was
glad
the back.
He's okay.
Yeah.
And just maybe a nice warning for that it does exist. There is toxic shock out there, and I'm surprised too that they just give you some antibiotics and a shot and let you go if like your body was shutting down.
I mean, she was there for a while.
Yeah.
Because she said she wanted to leave,
and she fell,
and then they gave her something. She waited it out, got up, and fell. So
yeah,
obviously good for her. She was trying to push herself a little bit.
Yeah.
But when the toxic takes over.
Yeah. You don't want to mess.
Nope.
You do not want to mess. Yeah. Any like septic, when it gets to your other organs, scary.
When it gets to your blood.
Right.
That's the key. Because that's
right.
It's like poisoning a river of drinking water, right?
Yeah.
If the whole water system is done, you can't do much about it. Nope.
Not good. But we're glad you're okay. Everyone, change your tampons. Keep an eye out. Don't forget about them. And good luck out there, ladies. Guys, and again, I think I said this last time too, but if guys had periods, I feel like you guys would never remember tampons.
No.
Like you guys would have toxic shock syndrome every day.
Yeah, or we'd just be bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, seriously. I know if guys menstruated, like, can you imagine?
We'd go through way more underwear.
Yeah, it would be a disaster. You can barely pee in the toilet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true. All right, let's move on. Okay, so obviously we had thrown out too some senior pranks and like things you did to like freshmen and stuff. Especially now too, as we talk about with school, coming back, new school year, back to school, which is so crazy. I can't believe too, it's like mid-August, and I always forget like a lot of Southern schools that go back to school so early.
One of the podcasts I was listening to, he's like, I had to get my kids off to school for the first time. I'm like, wait, people come back to school already?
Yeah, ours was always after Labor Day. Was yours too?
Oh, no, always, yeah.
Yeah, or like the day before, like it would be like a day before, then we'd have Labor Day as like a break, then.
Well, that's what he said. He said down in Texas, the school system always starts on a Wednesday. so the kids and teachers and parents all get to
Have, like, a
adjust to
couple
only
days.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then they go
Have the
back
long
to
weekend.
a weekend, and
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
was kind of smart, actually.
And that's what they always was with our school. It began like 2 days before Labor Day or something. So we go to school, maybe even same thing. I go to school like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then it was Labor Day, and then it was like, then once you're back from Labor Day, then it's really
Then you're
like,
really on, yeah.
back. So I know it's always crazy. I'm like, oh my God, it's August, like early August, and people are going back to school. Crazy. Also, let me know before I move on from the tampons of it all. Someone did call in, and I feel like I don't need to play the whole thing, but just to say that everyone needs to get on the Diva Cups. And I just mentally, I just don't know how I feel about the Diva Cups. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
It's literally like a cup that you put in, and it like holds the blood, and it's reusable. So you wash it out.
Why does that not sound good to me?
I know.
I picture the levees breaking in
like
New Orleans.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I haven't started, because I'm like, that just sounds crazy. What if the suction comes loose? But apparently, like, some people swear by it. Like, this girl called in and basically was like, everyone needs to go over to Diva Cups. Like, you guys are crazy for not using Diva Cups. And I do have some people that I know, they're menstrual cups.
I love the name. Yeah, I kind of pictured what they were right when you said it.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a suction.
Yeah, it's like
literally a suction
Beaver
cup. Yeah, that it holds it, and then you got. That's the only thing is it just feels messy.
Did you see what I did there with Beaver Dam?
Beaver Dam. Oh, I get it.
Need to trademark the name. So Diva Cup's competitor could be the Beaver Dam.
Oh, it's not a bad idea.
It's a pretty good idea.
Made of wood.
It's all natural.
Yeah.
Organic.
It's organic wood. No. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I honestly would just rather like wear like my granny panties. I have like my thick period underwear that I've been loving.
The period undies?
Yeah.
I think that's all guys would do.
Yeah, like you guys could never.
We'd have some throwaway box. I'd just put Depends on.
Yeah, that's
I'd make it easy.
Yeah, really. That's kind of the way I do it. Okay, now moving on. All right, so let's get some of these back to school, see what the kids are up to. Here we go.
Hey y'all. I called in a while ago about my great uncle crashing his plane over the Bermuda Triangle. But I have a different story for you today after hearing James's prompt about weird senior pranks. I don't know if mine's weird. It's probably a pretty standard senior prank. I feel like it's been done before. But my senior class decided to throw raw fish onto the freshmen coming out of their lunch period. I did not partake in this. I just heard about it as it was being planned and later, but I'm like, that's disgusting. I'm not doing that. But one of the like cooler teachers among the seniors, he was a senior class teacher, just really chummy, really cool with the students. So he let all the students that were going to dump the fish gather in his room before they went to do it, like right before the lunch period let out. And so when they identified everyone that was involved in dumping the fish, because it was like heinous and disgusting, the teacher actually had to do the community service with the students because he harbored them in his room and allowed them to, he knew what they were doing and allowed them to gather there before they went and dumped the fish. So he got punished too. I'm sure he regretted that. Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But yeah, just thought that was kind of interesting twist on a disgusting senior prank. Bye guys, love you.
Throwing fish on freshmen, that's fucked up. That's weird. Would really I would sue.
That's a weird one.
I would sue.
I'm surprised the teacher kept the job.
Yeah, seriously, harboring criminals. But again, that, especially depending on when it was, that was a thing too. I think I told you ours was seniors would go around with bleach and were spraying us with bleach.
See, that's real
water.
Dangerous.
Some people did it with bleach. Most people are doing it with water, but some people were being dicks and put bleach in the spray bottles.
And it ruin your clothes.
Yeah.
And bleach is toxic.
Right. To get it in your eye or something.
I mean, throwing fish is safer than bleach.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Chemical burns.
Yeah. Right. But no one even really got in trouble. I remember one girl, her new clothes. It was the first day of school. You have your newest, best clothes that you're wearing, and it got ruined, and nothing happened.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, because no one could really find who it was, and and it was
Kids being kids.
Kids being kids. Yeah. So, but yeah, the fish like that too. That would piss me off. That would piss me off. We have one other one too that talks about some high school.
Let's go for it.
Here we go.
Hi, Sam and James. Love the pod. So I know a high school principal, so I have a couple of high school pranks. So the first one is that students had gotten some baby pigs and they released them in the school. But they had numbered them 1, 2, and 4. So everyone was looking for number 3, but there was no number 3. And then this year, some students took a fridge from their parents' house, and their parent was obviously not happy about this. But I guess they were going to fill it with concrete. But they were stopped when they were walking on the sidewalk just outside of the high school, and when they were asked what they were doing with the fridge, they said that they were using it as a cooler. But someone had a wheelbarrow full of concrete bags, so needless to say, they got caught, and I'm assuming they definitely didn't have enough concrete to fill the fridge anyway. But yeah, love the pod. Thanks, guys.
From a principal.
I bet they have some good stories. The pig thing was funny. I thought that was funny.
Smart, very
That's
smart.
Cute.
The 1, 2, 4.
1, 2, 4.
Yeah. That's thinking.
I hope the pigs were okay though. I always worry about like when animals get involved with some of this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
You know, there's always, the kids aren't really thinking about the animals' well-being.
No, they aren't.
But as long as the pigs are okay.
Pigs are pretty resilient though.
Pigs are pretty resilient. But I thought that was pretty funny. And I don't get with the fridge with the cement. Why?
I know exactly what that's about.
Why?
Because we did something similar-ish.
What is it? What is the deal with the fridge and cement?
Try to get school delayed. So you put stuff in front of the doors so that the janitors can't open school in time in the morning. We pulled. This one I was involved in. There's a couple of the ones I've told that I wasn't. There were dumpsters on the back side of the school.
Moving the dumpsters.
And we would move all the dumpsters and run chains through them so you can't move them all at the same time in front of the main school doors. So that it was tougher to get in and they'd have to delay opening school. I think
why the hell would they
that's
move
just
a
what I'm
fridge?
guessing what the fridge thing is.
Yeah, they're gonna fill it with cement.
Fridges aren't super heavy. They're just awkward. If there's no food and there's nothing in a fridge, it's a light plastic shell, right?
Yep.
You can move a fridge reasonably, especially if you have like a cart or something.
Yeah.
But once you put concrete in a fridge, you ain't moving that thing.
Oh my
God. Not by any normal means. That's what my guess is they were doing.
Oh my God, that's
the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I think I know
okay,
what
that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm like, what the hell? That's so
because if
random.
you put a concrete like anchor the size of a fridge
then how the hell are you
in
gonna
front
move
of the school door, what are they going to do? Drag it down, and because if you start trying to drag it, it's going to break up all the concrete in front of your school. Probably you'll even hurt the sidewalk. Like, so you don't have a good way to get that out of there.
Wow, these little kids, these little hooligans.
Yeah, that's my guesses.
Riffraffs, I tell you, a bunch of riffraffs. I love those. Funny, cute. I mean, again, a fair warning for all my ladies with your tampons and some good little meaningless, harmless, I should say, pranks. Maybe send them to your seniors. If you have any kids, give them some good ideas. If you have any weird stories, weird things, weird stories from school, any weird school stories as back to school comes around. What's something weird that happened to you at school or something weird your school did? Call us at
SpeakPipe.
That's speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. Again, speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. All one word. I will also put it in the description of this podcast too, so you can easily click on it. Again, it's always anonymous. Leave up to 2 minutes. Tell us something. Call us up. Let us know. We're always looking for new secrets, especially just You know, I always like to have some of them make sense when we've just talked about them too. So
I'd love for the weirdlings to call in with some requests on Science Corner. What do they want to hear?
Oh yeah, what do you want James to
do
break
you have
down?
anything that you want me to break down, look into
Any
more?
questions?
The creatine one was fun to do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like James. Yeah,
it could be for anything too. Whatever you got, I'd love to do some breakdowns.
yeah. If you like James' random science facts of the day that he just finds on his explore page, or if there's something more specific, let us know. You can call in, or you can message the Weird and Proud Pod on Instagram, which make sure you're following
Follow.
Weird and Proud Pod on Instagram.
Follow, share.
Follow, share. And James, is there anything else you want to tell the people?
Love you, weirdlings.
We love you guys so much. We hope you have an amazing week.
We'll see you in New York on Wednesday.
Yes, we'll see you out there. Love you. Bye.